And so these matches, game number 1, a little bit lopsided, but I think once MashuBois, if they wind up losing in this set, which plenty of Smite to be played, best of 3s for the next couple of days before best of 5s in the semis, and then a very interesting finals format, actually. I'll give you a little tease. It's a best of 7, and usually what happens, Ryan, when we do double elimination is you have a best of whatever, a best of 7 in this case, and then if you came from the lower bracket, you have to reset and play again. We're not doing quite that much.
You mean you don't want 2 best of 7s?
14 games
on the same day? No, thank you.
Instead, what we're doing, it's a best of 7, but the team that came from the winner's side, the top round, will actually just get 1 free win. So maximum 6 games, and we'll see how that one winds up. But really competitive stuff here at Smite Masters. Very excited to see the international squads. MashuBois have the first pick this time against RivaL. Frankly, I think second pick almost worked out better for them with the idea that they would be able to respond to what RivaL was saying. I don't know if I like this first pick selection, but the first ban, no surprise, no Sir Cat.
Achilles as well from RivaL, the same 2 bans from these teams early on, as in similar to game 1. I don't disagree with you. I think that the first 3 picks in particular for MashuBois were really good last time around.
Yeah.
And as much as I think Sobek is the dominant solo laner right now in a lot of aspects, his early and mid game are very weak. And if that's what MashuBois are worried about, I don't think that they can realistically pick something like a Sobek. I mean, Deathwalker just had his way with the entire right side of the map.
Right.
He owned that alongside iCeicebaby. It was just Jungle 1 and Jungle 2 for RivaL in game 1. So I think if MashuBois are going to make an adjustment, number 1, I'd keep Rampage on the Agni. His bomb stuns were good. He was in the right position a lot of the time. He got the only 2 kills for MashuBois, so why change it? This is an interesting switch up, though. Going for the Cullen this time around instead of a Giannis ban. MashuBois, maybe they do want to keep going lower pressure overall on that side of the map, so they ban away the Cullen, the de facto pressure pick right now in the solo lane. RivaL will ban the Giannis, which was banned by MashuBois in game 1. So Terra is the god that was banned in game 1 that is not banned this time around. MashuBois could go for it here if they want to look for late game team fight. She does it better than just about anybody.
Well, they're thinking about it, talking about it right now amongst themselves. MashuBois trying to figure out which direction to go in. I like RivaL banning out the Giannis. It's interesting. In game number 1, we mentioned MashuBois banning away the Giannis because it enabled their high-pressure pick characters. Here on the other side, it's the opposite for MashuBois. RivaL banned it out because it allows you to cover up your mistakes a little bit better. If you get in trouble, you can walk through a wall, get your teammates to walk through a wall. I like this Geb selection, mainly for the same reason. It allows you to cover up your mistakes a little bit more.
Yeah, but we're worried about the early game, right? We're worried about getting blown out in the early stages, and Geb gets blown out at times in the early game.
But
He's
he
a late
stops your teammates at the same time.
Not as in the early game. You need to level your shockwave because it does good damage, and you kind of need that to help the wave clear. You also want to level your stone shield. Remember, that's going up in health and level as Geb is, so it's not going to be as effective until the later game anyways. Plus, now you're choosing between leveling your clear ability, leveling your shield. What do you want to do in that support role? I don't know. I think that Geb first pick is a little bit too slow for my liking.
I think we're going to agree to disagree here, because knowing that Naja performed last time around so well, Geb has the natural passive. And quick question, is there a world where you just level your shield first?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is that world.
If an enemy team has a lot of damage that is not off crowd control, is kind of the rule of thumb that I've been talking to some support players about. Is sometimes you need the clear, and the cleanse that the Geb shield provides you is always good. Don't have to level that.
Exactly.
So you could put 1 point in it, but if you really need just the outright health from it, that's when you want to level the shield. Right now, against these first 2 picks, I think I'd still be leveling Shockwave to make sure that we get enough push power forward. But if RivaL is going to just have a ton of early game damage, then I think leveling the shield could certainly be a possibility here.
Well, Bastet going to be the mid-game assassin for MashuBois here. I like this pick. It's mobile. It's going to allow the jungler to really get around the map and maybe look for the picks that they couldn't find in game number 1. Again, similar to Geb, a tough, super early game. So we'll see how that transitions. But the Agni for Rampage, that's like the one thing that we all agreed on.
Agreed. Yeah. Go back to the Agni here. And Bastet, it has a really high ceiling, I think, against the first 2 picks for RivaL. Naja, no real escape, has to use his ultimate or a sash. in order to get away from the cats potentially. AyAySiol is a phenomenal selection here from Kalas. Number one is Kalas, and the man just lives and breathes AyAySiol. But also Bastet, Agni, two gods that rely on movement abilities. Bastet with the Pounce, Agni with the Path of Flames, and no CC immune ultimates either. Those are the two boxes that I'm always looking for AyAySiol. But this Bastet pick for ASU has got to be wary. If Naja uses the ring toss and the ultimate, just dropping cats on him as soon as you see him is almost a free kill every time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Going to be nice to look at that one. Artemis banned out here from RivaL, which again, the late game hunter being banned out. If I'm MashuBois, I'm looking for a high clear hunter, though, more than anything else. I want to allow my Geb to level the shield, so I want to come with my own clear.
Right. It could be the Ullr, though that was banned away by RivaL last time around in this exact same spot. MashuBois actually decided to ban the Sobek, so they aren't going to be going for it, and they don't want RivaL to do so either. I think that's very smart because we talk about it all the time with AyAySiol. Brings great damage, but lacks in the control department a little bit. Sobek could make up for that lack of control, so I think that's a very smart ban.
Love this Ullr ban from RivaL. Ullr is a character that I was thinking of. Decent clear, can fight early, can stand on his own. CC immune ultimate for AyAySiol. A lot of nice options there from Ullr should MashuBois pick him, so smart ban.
The bigger one is that now Ullr was on the table here for RivaL. I really thought they were going to go for it right there. The difference being in game one, they were in that first pick slot, so they didn't have the first pick coming out of the second ban phase. This time they did, and I really thought they were going to ban Ullr, pick Ullr, but decided to go for the Ram instead, just stacking the slows that this team of MashuBois has to worry about.
Making sure that Rama will be available also with the CC immune ult for MashuBois. If you want to go Ullr, that's kind of RivaL. I want to say baiting MashuBois into that Ullr selection.
Sure.
Ullr's a great god and will cover a lot of the bases that Mashu needs covering, but not that AyAySiol ultimate.
Exactly. This is, I completely agree with you.
The voice line?
Perfect voice line right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. RivaL says, I think you're right on point there. You could pick Ullr, and it could be really good.
Do it.
But you also get destroyed by AyAySiol,
Yeah.
so you have to be okay with that. MashuBois locking the Athena. I assume it'll be Athena solo, though it could be Geb solo. We've seen a little bit of it, particularly in the minor league here in NA and EU. I think that this still falls victim, though, to their same problem from game one, which was lack of pressure on the right-hand side. Neither of these are going to have enough pressure to deal with something like a Sun Wukong from Deathwalker that we haven't seen in quite some time. When was the last time we saw Wukong?
It's been a hop, skip, and a jump. Wukong, I think we.
Isn't hop, skip, and a jump a measurement of distance, not time?
Well, time is distance.
No, it's totally different.
It's all relative. Time, light years, it all comes together.
No, light years is distance, not time.
But it's a reflection of distance with respect to time.
Sun Wukong is going to be fun to watch. That's my analysis for this now.
We'll be back here on the introspective desk from one deep thinker to another. Bring us the game, Toli.
It's just me here.
He's talking to you.
We're the gambler here. How could you forget the savage gambler here of all people?
So game one went the way of RivaL in under 16 minutes. Game two, MashuBois have to try and fight back into it. RivaL, though, once again, they've drafted very skill shot orientated gods.
Yes, the AyAySiol pick definitely. I like it because you were saying behind the scenes like Athena would be more safe and standard in terms of pulling the Bastet when she jumps in, but if you can cripple her to chain her and not allow the pounce back, well, that does the same job, and you get more of a warm-up in anyway, and you're forcing more beads as well to allow the follow from this Naja.
Well, you guys in chat get to interact and see who you think will win this game. 12% of you believe MashuBois last game. I don't know whether that amount is going to go up or down for this one.
Probably going to go significantly down. Like, imagine a stock market here, right? Like, no one's buying into this. Everyone is shorting this stock.
We're selling stock now.
Yeah, we are selling this.
BillHK on the Geb. It will be Geb solo. Geb solo against Sun Wukong. Toli, you know solo lane matchups more than anyone I know. Geb versus Sun Wukong.
All right, well, Geb, not the most traditional. Like, Guardians are good in the solo lane because they provide so much control in team fights later on. Only dropping 2%. A little surprised by that.
Go on, MashuBois. The 10% hope.
I mean, there's always a hope and a dream, but we'll see how the Guardian stacks up to Deathwalker's Sun Wukong, because last time around it was the Sobek against Kukulkan. Now, Sun Wukong is not going to be able to bring as much pressure as a Kukulkan, but Geb will struggle harder in the early game than a Sobek will. So I think the laning phase will still go about the same way as the last game, where Deathwalker will outpressure Bill and then look for those rotations from ice to look for some blue buff invades.
Set it off air, Tolly, as the analysts on the desk were breaking it down. I don't like the ult pick here, just against the Ares. There was a couple of things still available with CC immune ults, which can cancel out the no escape. But this time, he doesn't have any CC immunity, so no escape is going to cause a lot of problems for him.
That's true. Hachiman was available. He could have looked for that. It would have been a clean disengage. But instead, going for the Ullr, they want to definitely box it out, it seems. But if you're going to box it out with an Ullr, you probably want to get maybe a Sylvanas instead.
Well, Vote already taking a bit of poke damage, but the 3 chains from Callus, only 2 connected. Out of the streamer things, a good little bit of poke damage out there. Actually, maybe allied. I think that might have been all 3. After the push, immediately, though, Callus gonna get axed. Kamiru showing that he can play the ult.
He's just not going to let go of that pressure. That's the whole point that you pick the Ullr. You're trying to get the damage off and look for an early kill. Callus is going to commit to this purple buff with Vote, and they're going to hit level 2 off of a couple minions.
On the right-hand side as well, you saw AyAySiol playing the Bastet, did manage to secure the blue buff for Geb, which is going to be very important in that laning phase to not allow Deathwalker to spiral out of control. But I agree with the cameraman here. Focus on the duo lane. I think that's where we're going to see most of the kills, unless iceicecebaby gets aggressive again in the jungle.
But we need to keep in mind, in the back of our heads, that timer that's going to respawn around that 3-minute mark. Once that blue buff respawns, that's probably the first rotation from iceicecebaby in that solo lane.
So nothing too surprising at the start. Build-wise, everything's pretty standard, except Callus once again going the blink early on, looking to make some nice quick plays. iceicece's going to slash Rampage. Rampage going to stand, though. Not going to panic too much. The poke is on Wlfy, and Wlfy's just a little bit far forward here, not being too respectful. The sustain, however, from Wlfy is going to force out the Bastet, and now Rampage takes way more than he bargained for, and iceicecebaby picks up the kill. Mistakes were made.
Fighting under the raw heal, even though being level 3. Look where where Deathwalker is rotating underneath, waiting for this rotation.
He's going to look for the Harpies, and AyAySiol there trying to contest them and get them for himself. But that's what Deathwalker's going to do. In a Guardian lane, Tolly, this is kind of what happens.
That's true here. Deathwalker able to outclear Bill and then makes this rotation happening. I thought that he knew where the rotation from ASU was coming, but instead wanting to invade those back Harpies. Not sure if he got the big one, but he definitely got at least the smalls.
Oracle's going to go to RivaL here too. These Oracles give vision if you get both of them around the Gold Fury pit. Not too important in the early game just because the Gold Fury doesn't spawn till 5 minutes anymore in Season 5. But having that vision does limit a bit of options of rotation.
Anything you can do in between waves when you have the advantage is just a big surplus of the way to separate the gold and the experience. And that's exactly what RivaL are doing. Not only in that dueling, but also with Deathwalker invading those backs.
Oh, a bit of a mistake reset there from MashuBois. But on the right side, Tolly, you called it. The blue buff invade is here, and it's already been taken away. Now Bill's in a bit of trouble. Double stun, one after the other. Body blocks onto the Geb, but the Geb will be able to limp back towards the tower. He did use his sprint, however, which is a big win for RivaL.
That is going to be a nice little gank opportunity here, because iceicecebaby is nearing that level 5 marker. Now, even though Geb has that passive to prevent a lot of crit damage, you're still going to be able to look for those abilities, the ring bounces here, and then the follow-up from Deathwalker.
A bit of pressure onto the dual lane RivaL, a little bit overextended, but they've got Wlfy on the rotation too, looking to pressure these things down a little bit more. Wlfy tested his snipe accuracy, and this time round, no real fortuitous result on that one, so RivaL just have to head back to farming once more.
Trying to predict that ASU would go under the tier 2 tower instead, wanting to min-max his farm, went for the back Harpies instead, as a jungler should. Walked away cleanly with that one. Still trailing behind the Assassin's Blessing stacks quite significantly here. iceicecebaby's going to get the penetration online first.
Talking about iceicecebaby, he's going to try and invade the Harpies, and Bastet is waiting around the corner to try and steal these away. Not going to go too aggressive though. The ring bounce did connect, so she's forced to pounce away back to the safety. Right-hand side though, Bill needs to get back to base.
Is he going to cancel the back here? No, Deathwalker's not going to eat the tower aggro. And this is smart because you don't need to find the kill onto Bill, considering he doesn't have teleport. He opted for the sprint, and as a result, even though you don't kill him, you force him to lose a whole entire wave, which is just as good as death anyway.
And you can see Deathwalker and Bill both have, well, I should say Deathwalker used his ultimate there, trying to find the kill on Bill. Didn't find it, but forced him to lose a whole wave, as you said. Bill heads back to base, starts to get his boots online, as does Deathwalker, who has now completed his Warrior Tabi already. Boots in the mid lane for Wlfy on line 2 with the shoes and the Magi.
And the thing about Guardians here is the fact that they can start off a Warrior's Blessing here into the breastplate with that 20 physical protection. They usually have a nice defensive mechanism here, but now with a 40 physical power from Warrior Tabai, you're going to be able to really poke out Bill.
Really nice little bit of work from Deathwalker there with the Ox form just to cancel out the rollout. You can see his Mage's Blessing, I should say, for Deathwalker here. Sash in the jungle, though, going to get the beads and dash out of Rampage. Ring toss bounce between 2 targets as Deathwalker walks in, looking to pick up the blue buff and keep the fight going because Wlfy's on the rotation and it's Bill in trouble.
Oh, wow.
Bombs rain down from Rampage, though, to deny the kill, and still trapped in the pit was the Bastet, who pounces away.
The Cataclysm timing from Bill actually negated the Naja ultimate, so keeping himself alive a little bit longer, but yet again, another back is going to result in another wave lost here. Deathwalker is nearing that level 7 marker, just now hitting it, and Bill struggling to get level 6.
Now, we did mention MashuBois weren't able to bring their long-time solo laner and Hunter with them. And you can see RivaL have been able to use that to their advantage on this right-hand side. Bill not able to really get anything going. Picking the Geb, which is, you know, something we don't see too much of in the solo lane. Even the Southeast Asia boys themselves said they like to bring some unusual picks out.
That's true. Bill replacing the one noob there that was playing with them online for the most part. Kamiru replacing Shiz. But the good thing about Kamiru, though, even though he isn't in the main roster, is the fact that he did play with that entity roster during SWC, so he's able to really provide some LAN insight for the rest of these players.
And Kamiru not too far behind in terms of build right now. Started off with the Hunter's Blessing and now transitions to the Transcendence. We should be online relatively soon, allow the ult to get a bit of a power spike in the early game, as you'd expect. Whereas Vote's going to take a little bit longer to come online. The Devour's Gauntlet is going to be a little bit further behind.
But the thing is, with this mobility from the Ninja Tabai, you're really looking for the positional advantages, especially when the slows are being provided here from Callus with the chains. Kamiru, he might be able to win the race of the stacking department, but the question is even going to get there with some of the aggression. Callus hasn't made the rotations quite yet, but it's Vote that's feeling himself by playing up on the tower line.
And you can see the moment that the axe was used by Kamiru, Vote just turns around and continues farming. They're not too worried about any pressure that could come out from the Ullr. Kamiru just going to stay under the tower. Right inside, Deathwalker is still trying to abuse this blue buff, but I love the ward coverage from MashuBois over here, trying to keep vision of what's going on this right-hand side.
That's the only real defense that they need to worry about here, is the aggression between Deathwalker and iceicebAby. Deathwalker going to use the ultimate, regain the health, and also buy time to prevent the taunt from minishima that lands.
Still a clone. There's been up the Bastet there over and over again, knocking it down to half health. Blue buff still stands. 3-on-3. Make it a 3-on-4 because Callus is just coming around the corner with the Ares. Good double taunt into the knockup, but a great response from iceicebAby. No escape from Callus. Pulls them all into the knockback. That was just off the mark. 1 for 1, though. Solo for solo. That's a win for the MashuBois.
That's true. The knockback from iceicebAby's ultimate actually disrupted Wlfy's snipe. Very unfortunate there, but either way, still walking away with a 1 for 1, really shutting down Bill's potential to get to the late game, and now going for some more magical defense here. I like what Deathwalker's doing here, trying to get something online up. Maybe Shogun's Kusari, potentially?
Well, with how this game's going so far, it's a best of 3, just so you guys know at home. If RivaL win this, they'll advance in the upper bracket to face off against either eUnited or Nocturne's Gaming. A lot of fans at home will probably predict that to be eUnited in the next round tomorrow afternoon. And the loser of this set, which is potentially going to be MashuBois, unless they can find something different than Game 1, will go up against the loser of the eUnited versus Nocturne set as well. And they'll get a second chance in the lower bracket.
Bill is just kind of really hesitant to go up to the lane. Even with iceicebAby backing, he's like, I'm going to wait till the back actually completes all the way through, because I know Deathwalker is wrapping around there looking for that proxy farm. And I like his ability to min-max his farm here, because every time you proxy a wave like this, you're buying yourself 20 to 30 seconds before you have to go back to the wave for the next one. And that results, that allows you to maybe look for a back heartbeat camp invade.
Deathwalker has no ultimate here. He just came up in time, as I said that, actually. But where's he going to go? Surrounded by 4 targets. RivaL making the correct call in this situation, though. Deathwalker's keeping him busy as they go to the Gold Fury. 3 members strong, and he gets out!
Wow, the noxious fumes was used through the blue buff. No one covered the option that he could potentially stay between that tier 1 and tier 2. And RivaL, they walk away cleanly on the right side, and they walk away cleanly on the left.
Callus is 2v1 at the same time, and that's going to force Kamiru to leap away as the Gold Fury does go the way of RivaL there. So once again, the gold continuing to extend in RivaL's favor. We're up to about 4,000 gold, 4,500 experience.
Not on the same pace as the last game. You know, MashuBois definitely learning their lesson.
I was going to say, would you reckon we'll see a faster fire giant this game?
No way.
Not a chance?
No, not with how... like, at this point in the game, last game, I think it was about 10-1, and they were able to get, like, tier 2 towers on the left side by now. So, no, I don't expect an 11-minute fire giant here.
Kamiru just managed to leap away from both the cripple from Vote and Callus' chains there. Back to the safety of his tower. Still has his beads intact and only a level behind that of Vote so far. So it's not doom and gloom, as you were saying. MashuBois are in this one, and RivaL testing the waters a little bit more so than we've seen previously. In game 1, they tested the waters and found results.
The thing that I'm worried about for MashuBois here is that RivaL's experience lead is going to allow them to get that second relic much quicker here. So we're going to see the blink from iCeicebaby momentarily and looking for that setup to really extend his advantage. Now with the Jotun's Wrath giving him that 20% cooldown reduction here, you're going to be having a much shorter cooldown of an ultimate here, about 72 seconds.
This Mage's Blessing, by the way, from Deathwalker. I know we mentioned it at the start, Toli, but I guess it's just because of the matchup he's in and how game 1 went that he's picking this up. This isn't a standard thing we're going to see more from the solo laners Warriors.
I definitely don't expect it to be more standard, but Genji's Guard totally makes sense here. You're getting cooldown reduction, a huge amount of MP5, I believe it's 40 to be exact, a decent amount of health, and more importantly, a lot of magical defense because Rampage, even in the mid game, hurts.
No escape from Callus, who's coming for a ride. No one is the answer. Beads were used by Rampage, and minishima will be very wise to use his ultimate defensively too in tow. 11 minutes in, and with those beads down, though, Rampage needs to be careful of iCeicebaby.
That's true. That Notch ultimate is going to be the prime target here. Almost level 12, so he's going to be looking for that blink momentarily here. It's not going to be the fire giant at 11 minutes, but it will be a right side objective in the form of a pyromancer.
Left-hand side, Vote is trading with Kamiru once again, and Kamiru just forced onto his tower. Vote freezing the wave to the best of his ability there. As the pyromancer drops, no one from MashuBois around, so a bit more bonus gold for Team RivaL, and some mobility if they choose to go back to
And
base.
you were saying how Vote is freezing the wave there. It's also because he has this vision, so he's not really worried about a gank until he gets 3-man ganked.
Has to take to the sky. No bleeds applied. Rotation coming in now from Team RivaL, so he should be relatively safe. But no is the answer. Rampage with the bombs as well as the damage from Kamiru picks up a kill. Vote got aggressive and paid for it. Talk about aggression, though. Bastet was juking around nicely.
3-on-3 now with iCeicebaby right around the corner. He hasn't back to base yet, so he doesn't have the blink available, but he has the range for the sash.
Snipe didn't find its mark from Wlfy, but still Kamiru in a lot of trouble. Was looking to try and turn it around on Wlfy for a 1-for-1. Won't be the case. Just the Hunter and the Hunter both down for each team.
Callus is going to avoid the bombs here. Diminishing returns.
Wlfy's
not going
dead.
to find that one.
Wlfy should be dead in the mid lane. Geb's chasing him, but it's Bill. Bill, though, gets the chains off. The ultimate follow-up. Rampage with the bombs. Can't find the bomb on Wlfy, who just jukes away, and Callus will fend them all off with the flames of death.
Deathwalker is rotating from the right. iCeicebaby on the left. No escape onto
ultimate this
Bill.
time.
He doesn't have Cataclysm.
Goodbye, Bill. We hardly knew you. The chain was good, and Callus gets a solo kill.
Easy. 1v1, Guardian versus Guardian. I didn't see anyone else there, did you?
I mean, they didn't do anything. That's the big key.
True.
That's the big key. 4-2 RivaL in control of this one so far. 6,500 gold. Definitely a bit of a slower pace this time round. That's more credit to Mashu making adjustments, I would say, based off game 1.
Now, it's funny because we say slower pace than the last game, but in Season 5, to have this kind of a lead
It's huge.
at 13 minutes is so very surreal. It's like you can really run the rest of the game off of this lead here. The next Gold Fury spawning in 40 seconds or so is going to be very easy for RivaL to start warding around and looking to zone everyone else away.
Bastet going to go aggressive on Vote, who takes this guy immediately. He's got Wlfy on the rotation. The pings come out from MashuBois immediately to let him know what was happening. Kamiru looked for the axe on landing, but Vote just managed to juke it out and gets a bit of sustain from Wlfy. So, the danger has been averted from RivaL.
Did force out the ultimate, but no defensive relic, so Vote should still be A-okay in this next engagement. Beats coming up in 10 seconds. He has the Aegis this time around. He didn't have it last time. He didn't back. but a lot of second relics all completed here for Team RivaL. Still struggling is 4 members from MashuBois.
4-level lead there for Deathwalker over Bill in this right-hand side. In the jungle, though, there's a dance around the red buff as multiple members of RivaL look to steal it away and will do so. MashuBois just have to tower hug for the time being.
I like this play from RivaL here because denying Geb a blue buff is insignificant at 14.5 minutes. He doesn't need the blue buff, but denying red buff from Rampage allows RivaL to split the difference here, allowing Wlfy to get his own red, Vote to get his own red here, and allows RivaL to go for their second gold.
Oh, he stole it! He stole it! Kamiru with a big play for his team there. Gets the damage over the wall for the kill. RivaL caught sleeping. They zoned away the Athena and the Agni, and now they're angry.
Oh, they're going to get the no escape onto 2. Into the tier 1 tower they go. The pounce comes out, and Naja taking her to the sky.
So Gold Fury does go to MashuBois, but that just angered RivaL. They'll get 3 kills on the left-hand side. Rampage still alive under his tier 2, but the tier 1 on the left-hand side falls to kind of answer back some of the gold that RivaL gave up there. Bit unfortunate from them, but very well played from Mashu. I love what Kamiru did, managing to find it. They had vision the whole time.
That's true. There was a sentry ward right inside the fire or the Gold Fury side, so not able to like really find the opportunity here. In the Gold Fury, they find it elsewhere. You stir up the Hornet's Nest and you're gonna get stung.
Bill under pressure here, has his ultimate available still. Deathwalker's clone doing some work for him. Down comes Bill with a great ult. Nice knock up too, good shield as well. He's gonna survive the storm that is the Sun Wukong.
That's his whole kit.
But he's still not done. Ring around the roses, a tissue, Geb falls down.
And that was just a nice patience from Deathwalker. He didn't use his abilities upon landing. Once that Geb shield was there, he's like, all right, let me reset the aggro, allow the tower to go onto the minions here without a Geb shield and Cataclysm and rollout, trying to get some slow onto Deathwalker. That was an easy cleanup.
So now there's a bit of a wait period here because RivaL can't really look at the Fire Giant this time around. I mean, they could, but MashuBois in a much better situation than previously. Still behind dramatically, though. It's 10,000 gold at 16 minutes. It's a big chunk of change.
And with this kind of advantage, normally in a 5-on-4 scenario, you're able to really push that lead into the Fire Giant here. But Bill is so low level that the respawn timer is so short that he's already back up. He's level 12 with Blink. The Cataclysm is coming up momentarily with that 30% cooldown reduction.
Minishima just trying to get away from danger there. Realized he was getting collapsed on, but now that's down. RivaL all around this right-hand side. They were looking at the Pyromancer, but now the Athena ult's down. They're like, well, maybe we can do this Fire Giant. Take him down as Deathwalker's zoning away Geb. Meanwhile, Callus zoning away 2 from the mid. Rampage trying to get around on the Agni, but needs to help out the Bastet into the sky, though. iceicEbaby finds the Athena. No follow-up damage at the end. The Fire Giant falls down, and now Minishima's in trouble.
Gonna find the snipes here. Doesn't even need it. Wlfy gets credit with the last hit there. And really surprising that Wlfy kind of messed up that last hit, but still RivaL does secure it. Wlfy with a nice little double kill here with the Fire Giant buff. RivaL are going to be able to really start stripping away the remaining towers.
Kamiru will get the tier 1 tower on the left-hand side, but that's only trying to get some sort of gold back from Mashu to get them their 3rd item really online for most of these players. As RivaL start to barrel down the tier 2, splitting the difference. 2 in mid and 3 on the right-hand side means the 2 tier 2s fall. Kamiru looking for a tier 2 of his own, but his Phoenix is now under pressure.
He'll definitely get the tier 2 tower. Now the question is he going to keep going? No, the answer. He needs to defend the Phoenix. Their minions were very close to canceling out that back. 4 members from RivaL pushing strong on the right.
Well, Bill needs some help. Good Cataclysm. Taunt available. Hits a couple. Snipe from Wlfy. Off the mark once more that time round, but Minishima chained to high heaven and falls down. iCeice has to get away. Defensively uses his ultimate to get out of the danger zone. Is still Deathwalker getting aggressive on the backside.
Vote's going to find out Rampage as well here, just caught in no man's land. Bill was getting chased around, so there was no peel for that mid laner here. RivaL, though, this time around, trying to go for another quick end.
Wow, if they end this quick, that's pretty impressive. He came out of nowhere. Triple kill for Vote, looking for the Quadra on day 1. Don't think this will be the case. Titan is slowly falling. It's taking him a while.
They're trying to go for the kills instead under the fountain here, but the Titan getting lesser and lesser. 25% health. They need the damage, but they're still trying to go for some kills. Going forward here, RivaL.
And they will.
Getting their 2nd victory.
A messy end to the game from RivaL, but still clean enough. 14-3. Over 14,000 gold. RivaL 2-0, and they move on in the upper bracket.
So a consistent strategy I would be writing down in my notebook if I was literally any other team watching RivaL. Like, all right, they got the Ra, they got the Naja. That was their practice warm-up mechanical game.
Yeah.
Are they going to run it consistently, or are they going to go for other things?
And that was that. MashuBois now will slip down to the lower bracket to face off against whoever loses later on today against United versus Nocturnes. That's the next matchup on your screen for you guys at home too. Was that a surprise to you at all, Toli? Was anything...
I was surprised that MashuBois didn't go for like that hard cheese opening here. Look for like a 5-man invade, 4-man invade, whatever the case is. Against such an experienced team as RivaL, second place runner-ups here at Worlds, you gotta look to surprise them, but I didn't really see that surprise factor from them. They said they were gonna bring the sea spice. I'm not tasting it in my soup.
Who do you guys at home think was MVP for that game? You guys get to give a shout out to who you think deserves the win from there. I think Deathwalker had a pretty good game. I think he was the one that kind of went a bit crazy. You can see him on your screen now, just saying hello and congratulations to the MashuBois on the interesting game between the two.
Good friends between these two as well here, hanging out internationally. It's very uncommon, so when you do have this opportunity, you get to kind of, you know, bounce ideas off of each other here. So I'm sure that they're definitely going to be pulling their ears now after this set to figure out what they did wrong.
Yeah, and that's a big key. MashuBois use this one as a testing grounds to see how they match up against the #1 team out of Europe, at least for a while. Well, we'll see what they can do later on in this week as their next game is tomorrow. But it's time to throw over to Tom and Aggro on the desk.
Thanks a lot, guys. Strong stuff coming out from RivaL here. Southeast Asia, unfortunately, could not really bring it. 2 games to none. And we'll see the world's runners-up move on.
No real surprise. And again, they go with the same sort of composition. They're not showing too much. Hey, did you know that Kalas plays Ares? Whoa, better put that one in the notebook. Like, of course everyone knows that Wlfy's playing Ra, Kalas is playing Ares. And just I was talking about how Ra and Naja are great warm-up gods for LAN. Kalas gets to warm up on the Ares, probably the most skill shot intensive Guardian that you'll find, and he looks great. Had 3 of RivaL's first 4 kills. It looked like that was going to go a little bit longer than game 1 with a nice steal on the Gold Fury by MashuBois, but overall, I mean, this was just dominance yet again.
I mean, it was the Ares really that impressed me, and just like you said, kind of par for the course is what Kalas does. I was streaming the other night, and Kalas was hanging out in chat with a couple of people, and one of my chat members was just like, "Yo, how are you? You know, how can I get better at Ares? How are you so good?" And Kalas says, I have literally thousands of hours on this character. How do you get better? Just play it over and over and over again. Kalas was talking like 3,000 hours on Ares alone. Like, I mean, these are the pros. These are what they do.
Yeah.
No surprise.
Look, you can have all your little tips and tricks that you want, just but nothing beats just plain old hours in the gym with it. And Kalas clearly has it, and you get stuff like that.
Big control there coming out from Kalas. Just nice stuff coming out from the Ares selection, which was interesting because with Ares, I expected things to pop off very, very quickly in that duo lane, but it was a little bit of a slower pace. 1 kill in about 12 minutes, and then we opened the powder keg later on.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of works out nicely because you kind of want to get your first aura item as Ares, get yourself some defense, and then get some opportunities to play very aggressively. And Kalas knows his power spikes perfectly on that Ares pick and was able to play around them nicely. And honestly, it was very important that he got off to a pretty good start because the rest of RivaL was a little bit slower this time around. But they just had very good map control. Deathwalker was keeping so many people busy on that right-hand side early on. I mean, everyone tries to gank Deathwalker, so RivaL head towards the Gold Fury. And then that's just classic Smite 101, and RivaL's able to execute that well.
Shouts to MashuBois, though. We're able to find an objective there, find the early kills.
Yeah, that was a nice steal.
Well, Rampage, nice stuff out of him again.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see what he'll bring out in their next set in that losers bracket. They'll either be going up against United or Nocturnes, and it's probably going to be Nocturnes. But honestly, I think this next matchup, I'm very excited to watch it because that matchup, a little bit one-sided there between RivaL and MashuBois. I think we could see a real set between United and Nocturnes.
I mean, these teams very, very different. Nocturnes, one of the stronger international teams, but reflecting on what we just watched, what's up?
I also got to mention, I'll mention it later. I've got a tease for you. I've got a nice little tidbit for this LATAM United matchup. Make sure you stick around.
He's the worst. RivaL's the best, at least in this set. We got a chance to catch up with the guys after the match. Let's see what they got to say.
3, 2.
So you just got done playing against the MashuBois. How did they do? How did MashuBois do? Are you guys happy with how they played?
I think that considering that we're top and they're coming from a different region, I think that it was like okay. Like obviously I don't really have a lot to say since it was kind of like really quick and kind of easy, But I think that they definitely have potential. They have reactions. I tested it in middle where I died. So I think that they have potential.
So, looking at your picks and bans, you guys picked Ra and the Geb very early on in that first game. Were you guys expecting cheese out of them early on, so you wanted to play a little safe in the late game?
I don't think we were expecting anything like cheesy, or we just wanted to we want to pick gods that like are kind of relying on a bit of team play and like skill shots, so we can see how the line environment is if
Yeah,
we're
you were
feeling
saying
it.
the skill shot aspect there. Is that why
Yeah.
you went the Naja?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So with today being done, you guys have got to watch E United versus Nocturnes. It's coming up next. You're expecting to face E United tomorrow. How are you guys preparing for that, for the rematch of the World Finals?
I think we're well prepared. I think last time it resulted the way it did. I do think we could have won last time, but doesn't matter. This time we will secure those objectives with Krakens instead of it getting stolen. And
Some words with Wlfy there. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. Any shout-outs you want to give before we let you guys go?
Well, shoutouts to RivaL, our sponsors. Shoutouts to my team for performing, and shoutouts to all the fans for watching. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Appreciate it.
When I'm here right next to you, I'm losing my cool. Yeah, I'm losing my cool. When I'm under your control, I'm losing my cool. Yeah. Losing my cool. Losing my yeah. Keeping the shades on though there's dark clouds. 'Cause if you look in my eyes, you would see it all. And I gotta keep my head above the surface. Oh yeah. But your waves close me in, and I can't hold it back again. I'm losing